Alright, let's try this playlist. We'll see how this goes. Yellow. Of course, oh, there we go. Whoa! Alright. Welcome back. Hi, it's been a couple. It's been like, what, 2 weeks? She tried to use me as a scratching post. I came over to give her pets and she tried to use me as a scratching post. Alright, I have no idea what the hell we doing today. Because Genshin would be later. Minecraft, hi Snow, welcome in. You should be sleeping by now. Because we were like, yeah, we'll pull later. Meanwhile, I'm probably going to be digging around for a while looking for these fucking teleports. Gotta kill you, bitch. But yeah, I have no idea what to build. Because we practically did everything else. Unless we go on a nut. Sleeping. Alright, that's fair. Or, I could do something really fucking stupid. And we can continue the adventure from the Mushroom Island and see what else we can find. I could just do that. Which I'm kind of tempted to do, because those streams end up being chaotic as fuck. Also, this is a new playlist, so we'll see where this goes. I saw a bunch of corpse on it, and I was like, okay, let's go. So from the nether it is. Actually, glistening melons can go in the supplies. Potion supplies. I forgot what they make, but... Shut up, religion. I finally get to make that joke. We're back at the church. I get to make the shut the fuck up religion joke. Alright, fuck the rest of this. It is not necessary. Alright, let's go. Another adventure time. For a second I thought a drown spawned. I was like, the fuck do you mean a drown spawned? What? This is about to be fun. We get to blow holes in the wall. We're already starting off great. Wow, we started off strong. The fuck is happening over there? What the fuck? Okay. Damn. This is actually a good playlist. Shut up, Gast. There we go. Well, hey, I'll take free stuff. Curse of Vanishing, literally not worth it. I'll take that. Damn. Damn. Again, I'm not saying I'm incredibly lucky when it comes to Minecraft. How the fuck you still alive? But sometimes there's just... Sometimes destroying the economy's good. See, like that. I literally could have just gone down, but you know what, hey. Some free experience and blocks. Oh, is this the place where the Bastion and Nether Fortress were right next to each other? It's somewhere around here. Oh, this is a new area. Do 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 do. Right there. Wait. This is why I can never do a hardcore world. I'd be dying so fucking much due to my stupidity. Alright, this playlist was worth it. We've not been here. Interesting. We have been here, we just didn't take this way. There's a hole somewhere in the wall. She's in the wall. She's in the goddamn... Is that baby got an enchanted sword? No. But who gave the child a sword? Aha. Sometimes it just takes me going a little bit backwards. There we go. Now we're back in territory we found. But there's sometimes I'm just fucking lazy. And it's another. Fuck another. Shit can just burn. Like, I know I'm not high enough, but like, I'm genuinely surprised I have not found like anything nether related. I know there's a hole back there, but like, seeing by all of this is just gonna lead— oh, nope, no, we're good. We're in the good. Now we're in the clear. Funny enough, I think we're close. Let's see how much of this game I can break. Oh, hey there, Ghast. Damn, that was smooth as hell. Bastion. Question is this my bastion or this is a different bastion? This 100% is a different bastion. What loot you got? I'll take some crying obsidian. Please, I'm not that kinky. I don't need the chains. What else did I just grab? I grabbed a chain. God damn! I can make a whole fucking piece. Alright, cool. And that slime just committed suicide. should be getting close to it. Again, I'm surprised this didn't like trigger like the distance fucking like nether thing. Damn. I like this song. I don't know how I became so good with fireworks and elytras. I spoke way too fucking soon. Yeah, I spoke a little bit too soon, but it's fine. I was about to say, this looks like something I made. Damn. I'm actually so amazed that worked. Damn. Again, we will never find this again. Again, it's fine. We'll never find this place ever again because we take so many different fucking routes each way. Damn. Okay, we have shitty school Wi-Fi, so like it's a wonder things are just loading in terribly. Nope, you can see the fire particles. How to stay alive there? I have no idea. Yeah, if anyone comes in, we're not doing anything bad. We're just kind of destroying the nether. But again, it's the nether, so it's fine. The nether has done nothing but bring pain and suffering. Hong Kong to you too. Also, anytime I go on a vacation, I am never trusting myself to do anything work-related. Because I literally sat down to do some editing and shit, and my brain said no. I took my computer out once this entire fucking trip, and that was to upload an assignment I had to do. Come on. I remember this. I like the red for what the fuck? Hold up. Okay. All the places I think I put like holes in the place, I'm not finding them. So which is why there's a lot more holes now. Imagine I accidentally place one. I saw that piglin alert. That was weird. Oh, hey. I didn't do anything. I'm not destroying an entire ecosystem just because I feel like it. Survive this mess by being a prince or a princess. Also, I am so excited for new Lovejoy album. Did I say I keep finding twisted? I meant the Chrism. Chrism? Christum. Chrism. Goddamn. Ah yes, just enjoying some good old ecosystems, that's fine. Yes, my favorite biome in the Nether. It's so pretty. Why are the ghasts yellow and not blue? Good question. Also, we've never been here. That was a mistake. I didn't mean to fly up this high, but okay. You guessed. Another fortress. Oh yes, the worst fucking biome. Oh, give me those. Make it easier to find out whether you've been or not. I'll take that. Take those. Definitely steal your iron. Oh, you got? Nope. I'll take a soul speed book, why not? Take the strongest out of the iron. Oopsie. I'll take some good enchanting books. Ooh, hello. We got the pig steps. I didn't set anyone on fire. What are you talking about? Yeah, some importance. That's cool. Yeah, I think we're closely getting there. Fuck. Come on. Every time I feel an ounce of joy, this game somehow manages to rip it away from me. God, I swear to God, if any of the new waypoints are underground, I'm going to physically cry. Please. I know it's a new quest, I just don't want to do it if it involves it. It took me too long to find the ones in the fucking regular, please. Please. Especially that one waypoint, the second I found it, I've never felt more peace in my life. Cool. Pretty sure this is still just a pit. Unless. Worst comes to worst, blow the bitch up. Would you look at that? We flew past it. There it is. Oh. Whoa. Hi, baby. Oh, cool. It's raining. Not something I want to deal with. That's fine. Funny enough, we have a home here. Who the I might have left the door open by accident. Ow. Whoopsie. Well. I know myself well enough. Might as well throw all that in there for now. Damn. It's fine. I really like how I did this outside. Alright. Now it's for the fun part. We're going this way. We're continuing the fucking journey. Cause it's positive. positive. Or it's positive negative, but it's fine. Sleepy baby. I don't believe it's only been 39 minutes. Yes, of course, we're just surrounded by ocean. Why do you look like a horror movie? This looks like one of those places like you don't want to end up stranded on. Also, why are so many good shows coming out this month? It's like you look suspicious. Press a binding, I'm breaking. How are we already back at this? How are we already back here? Okay, damn it. Yeah, it's been 41 minutes. Okay. Time is not real. No, we gotta stay up for the Alhaitham polling. Where do you go down to? Curious. I was about to say if this goes into a lush biome. This would have been a really cool spawn. No, come on, there gotta be more to that lush biome. Come on, don't do this to me. Please, you bitch, no. Minecraft wouldn't be that cruel to me. Yes, they fucking would. Oh, yay, we found more. I need to work more with the glow berries. They're so pretty. Also with the glow, like... lichen? Is that how you say them? Oh, there's gotta be an axolotl here. No. Come on, please. There's gotta be one. Zombie, you're not what I'm looking for. Oh, hey. Never mind. Hey. Oh my god. I can't wait the new Minecraft update. You can put whatever you want to spiders. Spiders? Spawners, finally. They're finally giving us what we want. Well, finally found one on this adventure. Ooh, I'll take impaling. But okay. We came on this adventure. We finally found an enchanted golden apple. Thank God I didn't say that as the plan. Oh, that's right. I could have just been using torches entire. Let's switch these because we're not going to use the elytra as much. Damn. Sorry, once again, vibing to music. about you have no importance to me. No axolotls. Sad. Game mode. Spectator. Let's see. Oh my god, wait, hold up. There was more. Never mind, this is a lot more important. Oh, shit. I didn't do it. Shut the fuck up. I just saw there's actually not one near me. No, thank God. Okay, that's just there. Never fucking mind. It continues. No, those are diamonds. Those things are just having a field day. Good sir, I just wanted to see if there was an axolotl. I did not come here asking for death. Babies? Babies? God damn, you are a huge ass thing of lava. Fuck you. You don't get to flow anymore. I just want to see if I can find a baby. Please? We're not gonna hurt the panda. The panda's too cute to hurt. Animals, cute animals. They're adorable. Goddamn, the jungle just keeps on growing. It's a savanna. Actually, wait. Plains, spruce, sparse jungle. Melon. He would be proud of the melon. I was about to be like, this ain't no way. Zombie villager, vindicator. There they are. Sorry, I wanted to see the villagers with cool skin. Because I know they have cool skin when they're from the jungle. That's all I wanted to see. I always do that. It doesn't matter what I'm playing. If I accidentally hit E and I'll just keep on playing. Okay. Let's keep going. We're Savannah now. You would just look like a single piece of lava. Any one of you got tridents? Nope, not worth it then. Oh my god, the amount of people that are just gonna like throw the drown into the spawner. How? Are you a mangrove or a desert? It's a mangrove! Yay! Do mangroves have new villages? Or is it just... Do you have a trident? No. Oh no, they'll just have the swamp. Oh no, there's a swamp technically. Swamp. Well, we got to see 2 of the new villagers. Or like villager skin types. Fixing my course. Look at the bed. Why are you glaring at me? You look so evil for a second. Are you mad because I didn't let you use me as a crouching post? She looked away when I asked that. Village! Village. Y'all got anything of value? Again, I'll take some bread. You want some bread? Kill him. Cat. Nah, I don't want your sticks. I will gladly take your fucking emeralds. I think this is the first time I've seen this type of acacia, or... Yeah, Savannah, like, type village house. God damn, why the fuck do you need so many? God damn. Cartographers. Forgot the name for a second. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all do your thing then. My bad. Not mean to walk in on that. Again, I don't think I've also ever seen this type of house. That feels like a slap in the face. Good, fuck your 1 melon. Fuck your 2 melon seeds then. Back on my adventure then. Let's pray we find no more jungles. No, what I want to find is an igloo. That's what I want to find on this. Cool, we get that we missed the desert. Thank God. Yeah, I don't want to find an igloo. Yeah, 100% don't want to find an igloo. Don't want to find one. Casually use some reverse psychology. Oh, hi, corpse. Hello, my number one person of, I hate how I instantly knew something spawned here just because I saw the effect. Oh, cool. Give it a second. I mean, I'll take the free coal. I thought I got rid of the villager egg. It's like, I swear to God I got rid of that shit. Fuck you in particular. I will start breaking the goddamn just normal sand. That one I already got. Dolphin! That one I already got too. Alright. God, why can I read that so fast? Alright, what time is it? I'll stream for another 30 minutes. Or until we find something. Fuck you. I see the pufferfish. I'm pretty sure we were like in a museum. Oh, we tried fighting the Elder Guardian and it was on like a very like old crappy version of Minecraft. So we were like struggling for our fucking lives. And it's time for a shulker. Let's go with the yellow, because I think that's where we were in the color scheme. Wait! Alright, yeah. Let's just go on more adventures. Let's see what other things can be found. Or I can make this even funnier, and I just go until I get to 100,000. Let's just do that. Let's just go to 100,000 Minecraft blocks. Nothing bad will ever happen over there. I'm at 76. It's not gonna take that long unless I get, you know, ADHD brain go burr. Oh, warm ocean. Yeah, she did that with my arm. She's like, your arm looks very cozy to use. Oh, those are sea cucumbers I'm seeing. Oh, I got so excited. I was like, did we find out the desert? Perks up. No, it's just beach. Possibly. I don't know, we found a desert. But fucks out with the coordinates, so we can't go explore it. There gotta be something. Never forget, I went on a whole fucking journey for no reason, as most of the closest items near me were within distance. Yeah, fuck that. Oh, yes, I just love seeing my coordinates just skyrocket. Of course, they throw me in an ocean. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. I swear to God. I swear to God. If I find another jungle, I'm setting it out on fire. I will fucking summon Smokey the Bear on my ass. Alright. We'll either end at like 23 minutes or we'll get to 100,000. Because I want to work on some stuff. Well, we found a jungle. We're setting on fire. Actually, is this technically the sparse jungle? Again, it's always dark, jungle, birch. Those three motherfuckers just love each other. Alright, a jungle was spared. A jungle was spared. Oh, there goes the baby. Hello, people. It's time to pay your fucking taxes. Y'all have to pay double because y'all got 2 churches. Give me your potatoes. You can keep your blast furnace. I haven't seen this type of house in a while. Has that always been there? By the looks of it, yes, and I don't like it. Damn, they had a lot of fun to this. Damn, y'all paid me bread, apples, and potatoes. You're good for now. As long as y'all ain't trying to summon fucking Antichrist, I'm in the clear. Like that one village that tried to summon. I love just seeing my shadow just look so stupid. You see the little legs kicking? Flower biome. Ah yes, we got a little flower biome. We getting our source of melatonin, serotonin. Piggies. Any cows? Chickens. Sheep. Pumpkins. Do you think now, since with the deep dark diamonds have become the most rares, have become more rare to find some pumpkins? Like, that's just a random question to have in my mind, because I know it used to be the opposite. Okay, we got a birch forest. This is fine. What? Oh, here's the dark forest. Imagine if I find the other woodland mansion. That'd be hilarious. I know there is one closer to where my spawn is, and I might go look for that after we hit this mark. What's the matter, baby? I mean, she's fine. The drinking clothes are still in there. Partially. Are you gonna let us sleep tonight? Please, both of us have to get up early. I have to go through 2 classes tomorrow. I have to go through a studio and then I have to go through a lecture. Which is funny because I literally get only an hour in between, so I might not even come back. We have the same class tomorrow, I just forgot. I'm gonna be bullying you for the homework.
No.
I'm joking. I will just be severely asking you what the hell we've... Because either I'll be asking you what the hell we did, or what the hell the assignment is. Be free. Go kill him. You have been freed. Go kill him.
She got a strawberry sunshine.
Damn, he was fucking prepared. Can iron golems get, you know, the effect when they kill the...
She drinks a lime seltzer in a pint glass. But there's
Can they get, like, the bad omen effect? Just random question. Can they?
but her eyes tell me she loves me.
Oh, why is there... Oh,
Really care
why is there light in the distance?
if it's too long. She'll cut the candle wick and leaves the matches she
I love how my brain was just like, there's light. How? Hello there. I'll take all the nuggets, and I'll take one of the flints, why not? It's gonna make my life easier in case I run to another jungle. That actually is not a threat. We will be lighting a jungle on fire if we run into one. And I will sit there and watch. I could build a treehouse in this. I haven't built a treehouse yet. And there's so many fucking jungles nearby, I could. Oh no, are we lagging? Oh. I was like, good sir, hit the refresh button. Oh my god. My bitrate looks like a fucking heart monitor. That's funny. Oh, we're just in a meadow. There's a wolf. Oh, that's a cold ocean. Oh, those are like the ice spikes in cold oceans. Oh, there's the delay fireworks now, but also we're going up, I'm assuming. Yep. Damn. I was like, I can still see the firework trail. Am I gonna just end up hitting like 1,000? Nah, that would have been cool though. That would have been really cool though. I know we're laggy.